Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I am DJ Rose Gold.
And I'm Danica.
And we are the ladies of the Pretty Penny podcast. We are now, when's the last time we recorded?
We did this Sunday before the mixer.
Yeah, and I'm still sick. That was my point.
Yeah, it's been a little minute and you're still sick.
But yeah, so welcome to another episode. We're now on episode number
4.
4 or 5.
1, 2, 3, 4.
This is number 4?
We did our first one.
Well, we are now on episode number 4. So if you've been listening to all of the episodes, thank you very much.
Bless your sweet souls.
And if you haven't, and this is your first episode you're listening to, welcome on board.
I don't even know what that was.
I wish you guys could see the face that she just made. That was not cute.
I don't know what that was.
But yeah, so we wanted to do a quick little episode before next week where we will start to get into our
back to our guests.
Yeah. Because we had the wonderful MC E-Bone.
Yes.
And we have a couple exciting guests that are lined up.
Very exciting.
For the next couple of weeks. So, for this episode, we really... yeah, boring, old us. We wanted to do a recap of Rose the Mixer Part 3, which went down exactly a week ago today.
If you weren't there, I'm so sorry for you. Like, I'm actually so sorry for you.
Why?
I like that's why I can't even put into words like the definition of networking and the definition of having the right people in the room all came together.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
The one like piece of feedback that I've gotten was, wow, people were actually networking.
Yeah, to the point where like when we wanted to talk on the mic, no one wanted to start networking.
Yeah, everyone was so concerned about like not losing the person who they were talking to, I feel. And to make it easier, so this is just a little tip, something that we did for Rose the Mixer Part 3, and we also did for the second one, was networking games. So we did something called Name Bingo, and I think I learned about Name Bingo in like grade 7.
To be honest, I never even heard of Name
Bingo
before. Yeah, no, never.
Okay, so for those who were not at the mixer and for those who don't know what Name Bingo is, it's such an amazing way to network with people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a bingo sheet. You can make it yourself. I downloaded a template off of the internet, and it was a template with the same amount of bingo squares. I think it's 5 by 5.
B-I-N-G. Oh, 5, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a 5 by 5 sheet. And in each box, you just fill in this person is a producer, this person has a YouTube channel, etc. And people would go around the room and fill out people's Instagram names, phone numbers, email addresses, whatever they wanted that would allow them to network with a bunch of different people in the room. And you cannot put more than one name in a box. Yeah. Sorry. I lied. You can put more than one name in one box. You can't use the same name
in a different box.
In a different box on the same sheet.
Yeah.
Right. So that was the second time that we did networking, Name Bingo. Mm-hmm. And it just went really well. We also did a game called Red Light, Green Light. So people would have to go around the room. I feel like people didn't actually play that game.
I saw a few people like actually doing it, to be honest.
Really?
It was just tough because there was like 300 people in there and everyone was talking at the exact same time.
Yeah, so that was a little difficult, but we tried it.
Yeah, it was fun.
And then what was the other one we did?
Yes or no.
Yes or no. So we had a couple of questions. Our host, Mally G, shout out Mally G, went down the center of the room, and one side was yes, one side was no, asking a bunch of questions that you'd walk to either side. Mm-hmm. So it kind of gave people a visual representation of who was in the room. Yeah. For instance, are you from Canada? Then you'd see who's not from Canada.
Yeah.
Or are you in the music industry? Then you'd see who's not in the music industry. So if you are planning an event and it's network related, those are just some tips of things that you could do. Games really help. Yeah, having structure. Yeah, I think that's one thing that networking events lack, which is why I think people were so happy, is because people don't network at these networking events. They'll come with their friends and they'll just stand up, but it's hard to just walk up to people and just talk sometimes. So, but yeah, so did you want to start with the word of the day, Danica?
So the word of the day is deck and how we're playing
That's
this.
DECK.
I didn't even go there, but yeah, and how we're wording it is how in the context is sponsorship deck, pitch deck. When I started at an agency, I remember like the first time my boss saying, "Could you put a deck together?" And I honestly did not know what she was referring to. I'm like, and I lied. Obviously, I said yes, of course. I went to Google. So if you don't know what a deck is, it's literally just like a PowerPoint presentation or a keynote, a prezi, however you wish.
I use Canva, by the way.
Or Canva. And it's just a different breakdown of how your information is going to be read or pitched to whoever. So if you're doing a sponsorship deck, it'll lay out who is putting on the event details, the kind of demographic, the market. Then you'll have your different sponsorship packages. And then in those packages, it tells what the sponsor will get from it. And then it kind of just gives an overview. Like for the mixer, it has her previous ones and kind of the numbers she's done. So it all has different variables every time. But yeah, that would be like a sponsorship deck. And then I do a lot of pitch decks, which also are referred to RFPs. And it's the same thing when you're pitching for
RFP?
Yeah.
What's that?
I just blanked. When you only know the
RFP?
for proposal. What is the R? Why am I blanking? RFP for proposal, but
Something for proposal?
my gosh, this is how bad it is.
Please hold.
Yeah.
What's an
Request for proposal.
Oh, request for proposal. Okay.
Oh my gosh!
So that's another word for pitch deck?
Yeah, so like that could also be a pitch deck.
Okay.
What you're doing is you're putting together your work and you're pitching to the business on how like you should sign with us, you should come with us because, and the request kind of has, so the business will have their strategies, their outlines of kind of what they want from you.
Got it.
You take that information and you put it into an RFP because it's their request. I cannot believe I blanked on that word, but
I didn't even know what
you don't even because in the industry you literally just say RFPs, there's RFIs, there's different like there's
what's RFI?
Request for information. So that's where you don't actually lay out specific details.
Okay.
And those are usually less expensive.
So
when you're putting together an RFP, unless like it's a huge company and you know that you're not going to get paid, but usually if it's like a startup company, you will charge $1,200 for your time to make the RFP, even if they go through with your business or not.
Okay.
RFIs, you usually don't charge because it's very broad. Like
Got
you're
it.
just like skimming you're just giving them like the information on their market they're going in, their demographic. It's very like surface level, but RFPs like require a good chunk of work.
So what I also want to touch on with decks is you don't only need a deck when you're sending out information for your events. You also need a deck if you're an artist, if you're a graphic designer, if you are a stylist, if you have a YouTube channel, whatever it is, everyone should have a deck and you should constantly be updating it. So just to give you an example of what's in my deck, and by the way, if you're listening to this and you want to see any examples of like a pitch deck, a sponsorship deck, or an EPK, which is an electronic press kit, which is basically falls under a deck, you can hit us up at the House of Milo on Instagram and we can email you some examples so you can see what we're talking about. But just to give you an example of what I have on my deck as a DJ, there's the homepage, which just says DJ Rose Gold. It has a bio. Then and these are all on different sheets. So I like to make it like a huge like PDF file, just so it's more graphically.
And what she's speaking on, if you're like in the influencer agency space and you're working with a lot of social media bloggers, whatever, it's referred to as a media kit.
Right.
Yeah.
Media kit too. Yeah. So there's the homepage, there's the bio, past clients. So on there I'll have LG Canada. I have who else? I put like Cardi B, Tory Lanez, Party Next Door, like any clients who I've worked for in the past. Notable venues / festivals. So I have on there A3C Festival. I have South by Southwest. I'm not looking at it right now, so I really don't remember what I've done, to be honest.
From an agency standpoint, it's always best to have your rates on them because when we are asking for your media kit, when we're asking for your media kit, we're really not looking at anything else. We're scrolling right to the numbers.
Oh, wow.
Because
I didn't know. I don't have my rates on my media kit.
I know. Because we want to see if you fit within our budget, and we need to know how we're attacking you. Because even if you just send me all that, like, great.
But I have a rate sheet and a media kit.
So that should all be one. When you always want to make it easier for whoever is getting
the
it.
buyer.
And the quicker the quicker the email is, the less like, okay, now I need this that you have, is the quicker you're
Well, I just learned something on the Pretty Petty podcast, guys.
So you want to have that all in one space, because honestly, especially if we reached out to you, I don't care who you work with already. I already like you, so I'm
right.
I all that information is.
But then what if I found your contact, and then I was just sending out my media kit to you?
That's when you don't send your rates. That's when you would just send your media kit.
So you're saying if you request for a media kit, you should have the rates included in there. If I'm just doing like cold calling,
cold pitching,
or cold pitching. Oh wow. Okay, yeah, cold pitching. Then don't include the rates.
Don't, because you want to build a relationship first.
Right.
So it's not like, hi, pay me. You're here to build a relationship first, and obviously, depending on the brand, they should have budget. But if I'm coming to you, so if Nike reaches out to you, you bet. Even on the first page, you'll like you even more. Like
the rates.
Like that's literally what we're reaching out for, is to see if you fit within our budget and how we're making that work. And that's one less email, one less day of waiting, one less everything.
Perfect. Okay, well,
yeah.
I'm going to make a separate. So I guess that it would make sense to then have one media kit that's just generic, and then one with the rate sheet, so that you have everything.
Exactly.
Okay. So I think we covered everything from a sponsorship perspective, and then from a personal perspective, right?
And then I think we also just wanted to touch on how to get sponsors. Like, people think there's like some magic trick to it, and it's really just calling, emailing, and being annoying.
But there's stuff that comes along with that.
Of course, but you know.
So Danica is absolutely right. But one key thing that I would say has worked for us when it comes to securing sponsors is you have to let the sponsor know why they would benefit from sponsoring your event. Yeah.
And on these brands, companies, whatever, if you go onto their website, they'll have like their own corporate community. And if you creep there, you'll see the kind of things that they're into. And I just said that word, I forget what it's like actually called, but every corporate responsibility.
Yeah.
Every corporate,
or social corporate responsibility.
Yeah, like every big entity at least has to have some sort of give back. So you can go there, read, and see what they're already interested, and use that in a tactic.
Right. Like I know Roots, for instance, like the clothing, Roots Canada, they are really focused on the environment. Yeah. So saying, let's say you're partnering with that's another thing. Remind me, but not really, because I didn't tell you what I was gonna say. Like for instance, if you're tackling Roots and you want Roots to sponsor your event, maybe you have a charity, like an environmental charity that you're partnering with. That would kind of give them a little bit more of a push, or a little bit more of a reason.
Fits.
Exactly. But what I was going to say is, partner with a charity for all your events. If you're making a profit off of your tickets, even if you're donating $1, $2, $3 off of your tickets, it's still something. So for the last Rosé the Mixer, so Rosé the Mixer Part 2, I partnered with Covenant House, Toronto, which is a shelter in Toronto, and we did a food drive. So it's not even money. We donated food, like non-perishable food items. And then for this one, we partnered with Unity Charity, which is an organization that helps people with mental illnesses and different who have gone through different struggles, I guess, and they help them through hip hop. So that helped, that tied back into the whole purpose of the event, because it was with creatives, everything like that. So that's just another a hint, little tad bit. But I just wanted to say also, when you're doing the sponsorship decks, another thing to look at, sorry, not sponsorship decks, but like attacking events. The different companies that you want to sponsor your events. So the first thing that I said was make sure that you let them know what's in it for them. The other thing I was going to say is, sorry, I keep having to like swallow because my nose is so stuffy. Let them know what type of people will be attending your event. So for instance, when we created our sponsorship deck for Rosé the Mixer Part 3, we said that there was going to be a reach of a certain amount of followers. of people that would be at the event. So when they come to the event and these people are taking videos and pictures, it's going to reach X amount of people. And then the other thing that we said was we're going to have X amount of people at the event, or this is the location. Like, you have to make sure that, yes, you're asking them maybe for money or product or whatever, but they have to have a reason as to why they want to sponsor your event. If you let them know, hey, there's going to be 5 people, it's just going to be me and my friends coming together, there's no incentive in it for them.
All. And they need to, like, they're not going to be there. I mean, sometimes, depending on what
sometimes
they'll
show up.
Yeah. Or they might just be writing a check and it's their logo that you're putting up.
Right.
But you need to paint the picture for them. So whoever's reading the deck needs to already just see that, okay.
That it's well put together.
Exactly.
And also, make sure that you follow up with your sponsors after your event. Send them thank you letters, or whatever the case
Proof
is.
of everything that went down.
Send
images.
them videos, pictures, everything like that, because yes, they're giving you money or they're giving you product, but at the end of the day, whoever you spoke to has to report back to somebody.
Exactly.
So make sure that you're always following up. So that's that on that.
Yeah, I think
on
that. Could be a whole other...
that really could be a whole other episode.
It's serious.
And it should be, actually.
It really should be. And we should get, we'll get a good guest for that.
That does a lot of sponsorships, yeah.
From a brand's point of view.
Noted. What else did we want to speak about?
We wanted to talk about the importance of flyers.
Yeah, which kind of ties back into, like, the visual aspect of,
just have flyers. They're not dead. I feel like people think flyers not needed.
Make sure, like, whether this be you planning a club event or you're planning a networking event or a conference, whatever the case is, make sure your flyer is appealing. Do not go to, like, at the end of the day in this industry and in everything that you do, whether it's buying makeup or buying a hat or whatever the case, like, you get what you pay for. So don't shy away from your marketing materials. That should be where you're really investing money. And I'm not saying go spend $200-$300 on a flyer, because that's ridiculous. You can find really good people. Shout out to my graphic designer, Liv Digital. She does everything for me. She's so awesome. And her rates are really affordable. She's really good at what she does. Just make sure that you find somebody who is really good at what they do and makes your flyer look really visually appealing. And that's really important.
I was gonna say have no problem with making changes.
Oh my god!
Even like the most minor.
I'm surprised
thing.
Liv hasn't killed me by now. Like, the amount of changes that I make, and I don't like this color, that color. Yeah. But at the end of the day, that is the first thing that people see when they see your event.
Of course.
That's the first point of contact. So make sure that when you're planning an event, your flyers are on point. On freaking point. Like,
that's the first thing that they're getting from the event.
Yeah.
Just double checking that we're still recording.
Yeah, we're good. And yeah, kind of the last thing that we wanted to talk about was the strength and the, what's the word I'm looking for?
The power of a DM.
Power of a DM. Let me tell you.
No, I don't think you guys get it. This, like, from seeing what Keisha's DMs did for the event. My name is not Keisha. Sorry. got a little too personal out here. But to see the power of a DM, literally days before the event, literally just told me, like, okay, you know what? I need to get my IG up, because IG is actually where it's at. The power of a DM is crazy.
It's so crazy. So just to give you guys an idea of what happened. Through a DM. So
are we name dropping?
We are name dropping.
Oh, whoa, we're name dropping.
We'll do a couple.
Should we name drop?
We should do a couple.
Should we talk about?
Yeah. Yeah. So I found out that a couple people were going to be in town because it was Canadian Music Week, which, by the way,
no, guys, no. I'm gonna rewind this.
What?
DJ Rose Gold comes down the stairs with a novel of names, slapped it down. She said, we gotta DM everyone.
Yep. If you did not go to Canadian Music Week, I highly suggest that you do next year. I don't know if it was always so urban-based, but there was Jermaine Dupri, Brian Michael Cox.
There's a lot.
Lots of really crazy heavy hitters in the industry. And some
serious names stuck out.
Right.
And the ones that stuck out, we didn't think would reply, and lo and behold, show up.
Just to give you an idea. So, one, there was Cardinal Official, Shout out to Cardinal Official who came to Rose the Mixer. That happened through a DM. There was Tuba Bassa, who's
oh my god.
if you don't know who Tuba is and you're an artist or you're on YouTube or whatever, just know who Tuba is. So that's TUMABASA on Instagram. I think everywhere that's his name. He is from YouTube Music and he is so kind and connected and just so awesome. So
He
that
walked
happened.
in, guys. He walked in, and
I didn't even see when he walked in.
oh, he got bombarded. I didn't even meet him. To the point, yeah.
Wait, people like
Oh yeah, because he came in with Cardinal at this all at the same time. I did it was chaos.
I didn't even know that.
It
Well,
happened.
there you go. There's Tuba. The last name I'm gonna say. My good friend Pooh Bear. I was still mind blown that Pooh Bear came to the event. And
If you don't know who Pooh Bear is,
Pooh Bear is, let me just give you a couple songs. Unconditional Love, Jaw Cure.
that's like the epitome of my
So
entire
he's
being.
songwriter and a singer-songwriter. Amazing.
Just crazy.
Crazy. So Unconditional Love, Jaw Cure.
Talented.
What would it take, Jaw Cure?
Bieber.
Never find Jaw Cure. Pretty much, if you like any Justin Bieber song that's come out in the last 10 years,
Ever.
Pooh Bear wrote that song. So,
And guys, to top it all off, he's super down to earth.
oh my gosh, so
nice,
humble.
So like that's another thing in the industry. A lot of people think, and don't get me wrong, a lot of people do have big heads. So for him,
Large.
somebody of his stature, to just be so inviting and can't even speak any more highly of him. To be that talented and that approachable, it's
Yeah.
like I can't even talk.
So the point in saying all of this was there is a lot of opportunity in DMing.
Yeah.
So don't think like there's a lot of people that don't check their DMs. Don't get me
aside
wrong.
From the mixer, like Keisha's, oh my god, so sorry.
Don't touch me. Take your hand off of me.
Her DMs, man, they're popping.
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, like your power, it works. Like when you send, 9 times out of 10, the person replies.
But that also goes back to there being something in it for them.
exactly.
And me letting them know why they should come.
yeah. But not even.
yeah.
I'm talking even just outside of the mixer.
Oh.
Like meetings and everything. Like the power of
Oh
the DM.
yeah,
goes so,
like I've gotten into a lot of crazy rooms
Yeah.
just from DMing people. So don't like. I'm gonna say this very loosely, but everyone checks their DMs.
Yeah, of course.
Like yes, there's some people who
It's
have
good.
other people managing their accounts and stuff like that. I get it. That's cool, but if you send somebody a DM, I can guarantee you like 8 times out of 10. I want to say 9, but 8 times out of 10, they will see your message.
Yeah.
If they're not responding, it's because they don't want to, not because they didn't see it.
Yeah.
Like, I check my. Never mind. I'm not gonna say. Like,
You have to.
I see all my messages. It's just I don't always follow up with them depending on what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
But
It is timely. At
there's
the
a
end of the
lot
day.
of the fact that I've seen what I've been able to accomplish and the people I've been able to meet just by DMing other people.
Yeah.
That's why I'm constantly checking my DMs.
'Cause who
So
knows?
if you DM me, I most likely saw it, unless it gets lost and it's like a crazy day and people are like tagging me from the
events,
mixer
yeah.
or whatever. But DM people, it works. But yeah. Just to let you know, also we officially launched the House of Milo at the mixer. So we're going to be doing things like planning events. So if you're an artist and you need a release party, or you want a club event, or a networking event, whatever it is that you may need planned, you can hit us up. We don't even have to be in your city, and we can plan these events for you.
Facts on facts on facts.
So you can hit us up about that and about lots of other things, which we'll be uncovering in the next couple of episodes. But yeah, my
Yeah.
computer's gonna die.
Yeah, I'm like watching it
So,
say low battery.
Too lazy to go upstairs.
I think we'll just leave it there. Next week, we'll definitely be having a guest on here. And now we're back on track. The mixer kind of,
Threw us all the way off.
but we in here.
Wait, let me just say one more thing. This mixer has been planned since my last mixer. I literally, from the second my last mixer ended, sorry, my nose is running.
Watch it cut off.
This mixer, this mixer took place on May 7th or 8th.
8th.
May 8th. and I started planning it in December. Thank God for Danica, by the way, guys, because the last one I did it by
Hello.
myself with my family. They helped me out a lot. This one, Danica was such a big help. I probably would have ripped my hair out if it wasn't for you. So, continue with the conclusion.
Yeah, I just wanted to say we have a lot coming in store, content-wise. DJ Rose Gold is working on a lot, guys. You have like literally no idea.
And she's gonna rip her hair out.
But let us know. You can either message us at the House of Milo, hello at thehouseofmilo.com for any inquiries. If you guys even just want to talk, we can also be therapists.
Can we?
I think we can.
It's a consultation fee, actually. She's lying.
Stop. You got to sell your business in every angle. But we will be live back with you guys next Wednesday. And follow the House of Milo.
Yeah. Duh.
Peace.
We're done.